Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright, presented by First Star Logistics. On this segment, we need to discuss the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers have moved on from head coach Frank Reich after not even a year, right? Um, I remember when the hiring of Frank Reich was first announced. It seemed like a weird one, especially for a guy that didn't have success for the most part with the Indianapolis Colts and failed to really establish a culture there. And we saw basically the same thing rear its ugly head in Carolina. And the reason why it's so detrimental is because he was working with a young quarterback in Bryce Young, a guy that was the first overall pick, who a lot of people had a lot of hopes for. And just seeing how the offense sputtered from him calling plays to him giving up play call duties to him taking it back, it seemed like a guy that knew that the end was near. But Daniel, I got to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on what's next for the Carolina Panthers? Who, in your mind, should be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers?
So I hate to say this, but I think Frank Reich now, or I think Frank Reich is a scapegoat, and I truly believe he's a scapegoat. And the reason why I say that is, you look at head coaches and GMs when they don't align in their thought processes. This is exactly what happens. It was on record. Frank Reich was saying, "Hey, Bryce Young wasn't necessarily the quarterback he wanted," and that just goes to show how much power GM can have. So Frank Reich may not have been the right guy for the job, but at the end of the day, 13 games. You're giving a guy 13 games to establish culture. You're giving a guy 13 games to establish himself. Obviously, it didn't work out, but Frank Reich is a scapegoat, in my opinion. I look at this team, and there's a lot of deficiencies, but they're still a talented team. So the Panthers have hope. My only issue is they don't have a first round pick this year, and you're setting your team up for failure. For the fans, though, I think there's a lot of good names out there for you guys. Ben Johnson's a good name. My favorite of this entire cycle, Bobby Slowick, has done an amazing job with the Houston Texans. What he's done with the abysmal offensive line that they have there, what he's done with CJ Stroud can give you hope. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, it falls back on their GM. Their GM has to go out there, make additions, because you can't roll out a team with Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, this offensive line. Goes back to the GM, and I think their GM is really putting the Panthers in a bad position. And the fact that you fire your head coach after 13 games, it doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence for the next cycle. But like I said, Ben Johnson, Bobby Slowick, even Thomas Brown in-house, I wouldn't be opposed to it. He was, this is his first year with the team. I think Thomas Brown's another good name. I know they gave him play calling duties. So this year's a wash for them. And I hate to say it, though, but you don't have a first round pick. And that's the part for me where that's the GM's job, to put your team in the best position to succeed. And I don't feel like their GM did.
Well, I disagree with you, Daniel. I don't
Really?
think that he's a scapegoat. I think that we knew what Frank Reich was.
Yeah.
I think Frank Reich was hired for the wrong reasons. He was a former quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, and he had history there. Obviously, they wanted a veteran name after hiring a guy that was new to the league in Matt Rule, and seeing how that didn't work out. But all the tea leaves were there. Everyone who knew about Frank Reich's tenure in Indianapolis is not shocked about how poor his tenure with the Panthers have started out to be. Also, one thing that was a big red flag to me was we've never really seen Frank Reich work with a young quarterback,
Yep.
right? He's used to working with veteran quarterbacks, so you really never knew how truly good this guy actually was. That all being said, I never got the notion that Frank Reich was the man for the job in Carolina. And just seeing how he took away play calling duties from Thomas Brown and got it and took it and gave it back to himself. To me, that's a guy that doesn't pretty much he's exasperating all attempts to make it work. And for me, I think that what a young quarterback needs is stability.
Yep.
They need a stability in a play caller, they need stability in a head coach. And when your head coach is both of those things, um, it leaves a lot to be desired. I That being said, I do think the Panthers do have a bright future. I'm here to talk to Panthers fans. Panthers fans, I do believe in Bryce Young. I do believe in the players that you guys have. I do believe that you guys can get the right person in to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, and you guys can experience success. I thought that the Frank Reich hire was a whiff, but that's okay. They got out of it quick, fast, and in a hurry. So props to the owner, Dave Tepper. He realized it was not working out. He realized he got to move on to something. The worst thing he could have done for Bryce Young and this team's confidence is keep Frank Reich on for another year or even the remainder of the season. Move on from it. Allow yourself to start fresh. You can get a jump start on the head coaching hires or the head coaching candidates in this hiring cycle. and really do a deep dive and figure out who's right for your team. Ideally, you'd want a play caller, an offensive guy that can kind of grow with your quarterback. You'd want that, right? Um, and just see what's out there. Hell, I wouldn't even mind if they looked into bringing Joe Brady back potentially.
Yeah.
If seeing how he's done well, done good things for the Buffalo Bills offense. So for me, this is the future is bright in Carolina. Everybody should be breathing a sigh of relief. Everybody is. I see on social media is kind of getting on Dave Tepper saying, well, this guy is, he wants he's not willing to let things grow and let things build. But I disagree. I think this guy wants to really put a winner out there for Carolina. When he took over this team, he had his vision for this team, and unfortunately, Matt Rule was the wrong hire. Um, unfortunately, Frank Reich was the hire. I would even advise maybe Tepper needs to go outside house to seek some opinions from other people and figure out who might be the right man for the job in Carolina moving forward.
And let me just say this: we actually had the pleasure of speaking with their GM Scott Fitter at the NFL Combine, and he said things that were awfully reminiscent of what the Detroit Lions were trying to do. They've got a ton of talent on defense. People don't talk about that. Brian Burns, Derek Brown, the secondary is young and talented. This team is extremely talented, and the way their GM was speaking about this team goes to show that there is hope. So the Carolina Panthers, you do have your franchise quarterback in Bryce Young because you put all your nails there. Go out there and get a new head coach. Go out there and continue to build because this team can be that next Detroit Lions. This team can be that next up and coming team. You've got the talent around there, and you just got to build and make life easier on your young quarterback, Bryce Young. So I'm with you. They've got a lot of talent. And this offseason is extremely pivotal because this is the offseason where you either lose the locker room or where you can start building a winner. And I've got a belief where they've got the talent in the room to build a winner. It just comes down to get that head coach and see what you can do this offseason in the draft.
Guys, let us know down in the comment section what your thoughts are on the Carolina Panthers future. And who would you like to see take over as the head man of the Carolina Panthers moving forward? If you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live.